You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building this morning.
That's right.
OG
A legend.
legend.
Yes, sir.
Mr. L.A. Reid.
Absolutely.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thanks for joining us.
Happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
I was reading your book, singing to me. I had no idea you was from Cincinnati.
You didn't?
No, I thought you was Atlanta.
What'd you think?
ATL.
Oh,
baby.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
How does a man have to? What kind of mindset does a man have to get out of Cincinnati?
Oh my God.
Because everybody always say there's nothing in Cincinnati.
What?
Wow. People say there's nothing in
I've never
Cincinnati.
heard that.
I
We
never
heard that
heard
this
that one.
morning.
Whoa.
Okay, I
Where'd you
don't want to
hear
get her
that
in
from?
trouble, but she works for you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You know, okay.
I was just in Cincinnati last weekend.
Geesh, all right. Well, how'd you get out of Cincinnati?
Well, I should ask her how did you get out of Cincinnati?
Well, I was on my way to Houston, and I was in Cincinnati. By the way, they have a Chick-fil-A in the airport.
So you was there for a layover. That don't count.
Yeah,
Stop it.
it's my first time
No,
there.
I love being from Cincinnati, right? It's very difficult to live there for me,
Gotcha.
right? It felt, it didn't feel like a place of opportunity growing up,
Mhm.
but I found a way. I found a way to get out of there. Music.
Absolutely.
Yeah, music carries people a lot of great places.
Absolutely.
So I managed to get out.
And you went through a lot of struggles when you were in Cincinnati financially. Just reading about being in a
I didn't-
band and you guys having to.
Just in an apartment with 8 guys in one apartment?
Yeah, but these were struggles that I invited into my
Right,
life,
as a
right?
musician.
You chose to be a
th-
struggling
yeah,
artist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was the point of it. Could I have gotten a day job and made ends? Of course I could have, but for me, that felt at that point like I was sort of selling out and not really committed to my career. So the struggles were by choice, and I endured that pain, and I enjoyed it.
A lot of people probably don't know you started off as an artist.
Yeah.
How did that help you as an executive later on, being an artist?
In some ways, I think it helped me to really identify with the struggles of an artist or the vision of an artist, so that I could sort of speak for them when they're not around.
Gotcha.
And instead of treating artist vision as something that's trivial or I treated it as a vision that needed to be upheld and protected when they weren't in the room. Right. I got myself in trouble with that many times. Yeah.
And when you should have just been doing the executive business thing?
Well, some people might have taken that direction, but I am an artist advocate.
Gotcha.
I'm not an artist anymore, but I'm still an advocate for artists, right? So that's why I'm there.
No, you're still an artist at heart. You got to be in the studio sometime and be like, hey, I got a bar for you.
No.
I got a hook. You could have sang it like this.
No, I'm fresh out of hooks.
Word.
You ever look back and say, I've worked with some of the greatest artists ever in history, because I didn't realize your connection with people like, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Bobby Brown, Michael Jackson, just everybody. I can't say, not too many people have ever been in a room with those people.
Yeah, I feel honored, lucky. Those are pinch
Outcast.
myself moments, yeah. I'm very happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it is, when I think about it, it's overwhelming. So I really don't think about it. Obviously, writing this book, I had to sort of reflect back and walk through those days again. And they were pinch myself moments.
I didn't know you started off as a side piece for Pebbles. Because she was a
Side piece?
She was a side piece.
He was the side dude?
Pebbles' wife, the side piece?
What?
Pebbles was married.
He was the side dude?
Pebbles can't marry the side dude.
You read this?
Welcome
had
to the
no
show,
idea.
L.A. Welcome to the show.
You read? Oh.
No, we really did. We read
He
the
was
book.
a good
Yo, I
side
never
dude.
put it together that I was the side
The
piece.
side dude. He looks
Pebbles
shocked right
was
now.
Let me tell you something. Pebbles was ruthless. She wanted L.A. Reid. She was not playing.
Yeah, and no comment. You're something else. But I'm still getting my arms around. I was the side piece.
You were. She was
Straight up.
married.
You ever think you get the credit that you deserve as being an executive, as finding all these artists from Outkast?
I don't
to
think
TLC,
LaFace
to
does,
Usher?
period.
I don't think you do, honestly. Reading your book and
Yeah.
going over to some of the stuff you do, I don't honestly think you get the
Because
credit.
you hear Motown, you even hear the rap labels, the Bad Boys, the
Yeah, you hear
Rockefellers. They don't
Puffs.
mention LaFace.
You
Never
guys
right.
kind of made Atlanta the hot spot for music, really.
Yeah. Listen, we didn't stand up and say notice us. That was never our approach, right? And we didn't tag our records. Our records weren't tagged like this is a LaFace. You know, we didn't
jackets and chains.
we didn't approach it that way. It was purely about the music and the artist. And I'm very happy with the respect that I feel that we get, or the respect that I get for what I've done in my career. It was never about sort of standing up, be noticed. Everybody, you know. Give me a position. That wasn't what it was about. It wasn't an ego trip. It was really about being a supporter of talent and really helping music grow and really sort of helping the quality of music be great.
Did that mess up the industry a little bit because you got executives after that all in them videos, all on the music? It seems like it changed the music industry a lot where executives wanted to be stars opposed to letting the artist grow.
Yeah, because like you said, you're an artist advocate.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be an artist advocate if you're still trying to be an artist.
I think they're two different things. I think that what you're getting at is a different era. You know, when artists became executives, but they remained artists, right? So I think they wrote a different rule book. You know, so it's okay for an executive to be in a video. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if that particular executive is the ringleader, you know, or the maestro, and is providing a platform for other talent. I don't see anything wrong with
like
it, right?
Babyface.
But it just wasn't my way,
Right.
You know what I mean? That wasn't how I did it. But I wouldn't say that Diddy did it wrong. I say he did it right.
Right.
It worked for him.
It worked for
You
him.
think being in the South hindered LaFace, kind of, just as far as branding purposes?
I didn't feel hindered.
Yeah.
I do.
Y'all had it
done
popping.
pretty
You
good.
had Whitney Houston at the house. Bobby
No, I mean, I
Brown.
know
I
y'all had it
understand.
popping, but I'm just talking about as far as, like, LaFace should be mentioned with the all-time great labels. Like, you should not be talking all-time great labels without talking LaFace.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But it seems like it never is, though.
That's what I'm saying. So I
Yeah.
wonder if being in the South is what caused that.
Well, that might just be, you know, when I'm in the South, I hear it.
You just don't hear it.
I don't hear it in New York. That's what you mean.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
who was the first artist that you guys signed on LaFace, and why?
The very first artist, wow, that's interesting. It's a funny story, actually. The very first artist might have been a choreographer named Divine. Divine. He's a kind of famous choreographer. I thought he was a rapper, but I didn't know anything about rap. I'm famous for not knowing anything about rap. I know a lot now, but at that time, he was a great dancer, and he said he was a rapper. So I was like, oh, cool. So I booked him on the Arsenio Hall show with Pebbles. And only then did I realize that, wait a minute, he's not that good a rapper.
Good rapper.
He's a great dancer.
You know, it's a learning experience. And we had a duo called Damien Dame that we signed. They had a record called Exclusivity. They were the first act. So the beginning days of LaFace were not like off the chart success.
It was a struggle.
It
was
wasn't
a struggle,
explosive.
Yeah.
And your first,
You mentioned
your first
being,
act,
okay.
the first act that made it, that was the first hit, was
Ain't Too Proud to Beg, TLC.
TLC.
Yeah.
And then you guys did the Boomerang soundtrack. That was one of
And
my
then we
favorite
did Boomerang
soundtracks.
around the same time, and we did Boys to Men's End of the Road, and PM Dawn was on it. Tribe Called Quest was on it.
That Boomerang soundtrack was pop. Love
Thank
should have
you.
brought you home.
Thank you.
Johnny Gill.
That's
was
how
on-
we broke Tony Braxton, was Boomerang soundtrack.
Now, you mentioned you weren't a rap guy, which is interesting because you had some of the greatest groups ever, Outkast,
Yeah.
even Goody Mob. Like, when did you start embracing rap? Because it's always the infamous story DMX said when you had the Chinese slippers and the beads on. He said he knew Def Jam was going to pitch then.
Yeah. Def Jam did quite well while I was there.
Yeah,
You know, just to get the record straight.
absolutely.
You know, we did really well. But I embrace music. I embrace culture. I never embraced any of it as a particular genre, right?
Gotcha.
So to me, I never separated like hip hop from R&B, from pop music. I never separated it. It was either good or wasn't good to me,
Gotcha.
right? Either the artist mattered or the artist didn't matter to me, right? And I never looked at it. I didn't grow up putting things in boxes.
It either gave you a feeling or
Either it gave me the feeling or it didn't, and I didn't know the difference. I still don't care about that difference. You know, I love Kanye West, and I love Rihanna, right? And I love Mariah Carey. I don't know if they're all the same, but to me, they're all greats.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
I like what you said. You said either they matter to me or they don't.
Or they don't.
Why would you sign somebody who don't matter to you?
Oh, well, people get signed to labels sometimes that, there was people signed to the label before I got there,
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Or there are other A&R people who you support their visions. And you just never know. It's a crapshoot what we do.
Right.
We bet on talent.
Yeah, I always hear the story about how the label loved Tierra Marie. They thought she was going to be the star over Rihanna.
But it wasn't that we didn't love Rihanna, just to be clear.
Okay.
We love
That's what it made
Rihanna.
it seem like that. Yeah, that is like, Rihanna's second
But
fiddle.
Oh, no,
Tierra
no,
Marie
no,
probably
we just-
could have
Tierra.
did it. She even admits herself that she wasn't dedicated the way that she should have
she
been.
wasn't. But we love Rihanna day
Mhm.
one, so it wasn't that. But I think we signed Tierra before we signed Rihanna,
Mm-hmm.
and she had her shot earlier. And then, Rihanna just took the whole game by storm.
She did.
You didn't let Rihanna leave the office.
No.
Mhm.
If I'm into it, you're not leaving my office.
A lot of people say that. They say that you did that with Bobby Shmurda as well when Bobby Shmurda first signed.
Did
that
it with
you,
lots of people.
you wouldn't let him leave the office. If you like him,
How do
you're
you
not leaving
negotiate
the
under
office.
pressure, though? That's a lot of pressure.
Who's
well, not
under
from
pressure?
you, but for the artist. I got to call my lawyer. I got to get my agent here. Like, I can't, what you mean don't
But
leave the office?
but when you come to my office that you bring your team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't come otherwise.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm going to do if I like it.
What's the
Gotcha.
danger
And
if somebody walks out when you put that in? Like, you're not leaving the office.
That never happens.
Really? Nobody's ever said, I got to think about it. Let me get my thoughts together. And
At your own peril.
Would that insult you?
I'm not chasing. I'm not desperate.
But,
I love what I love.
But you also wouldn't just sign a deal on the spot either at times. Like, you've had when you actually left Arista and stepped down, you could have signed with a few different places. Everybody wanted you.
Yeah.
So you understand the thought of, okay, well, let me weigh out my other options.
Yeah, it took me 40 minutes to weigh out my options.
Right.
Right. I left Arista, and 40 minutes later, I had a handshake with Doug Morris to come to the Universal Music Group, which turned into Island Def Jam. So I think that here's why, and it's not that I'm pressuring artists into signing, like sign right now or you're going to lose the opportunity. It's that I believe great artists also already know where they want to sign before they walk into the room. I think they've already thought this through. As artists can be very, very smart, and they think about this. They spent many, many years thinking about where they want to be. So if you're running a company like Island Def Jam, and you know that there are great artists there, if you are an MC, you probably thought about being signed to Def Jam. So it's not like you walking into the room and I'm going to pressure you into doing something you've never considered, right? It's an opportunity, and what I'm doing is making that opportunity a moment.
Now, with that being said, Rick Ross, you recently signed Rick Ross.
Yes.
Now, how did that go? Because like you said, he was with Def Jam 5 years. He pretty much has a family there. He knows everybody there, but he jumped out that boat.
But we're family. I've always been close to Rick Ross.
Mhm.
From the very beginning, we signed him when I was there. And I think that his stay had run its course.
Mhm.
And he's very fortunate, and I think we're very fortunate that we all get another shot.
So you
know?
get nervous with Rick Ross because his last album didn't do as well as expected. Like, I don't want to say you have him on his downslide, but album-wise,
He's the comeback king.
sales-wise-
L.A. Reid's the comeback king, though.
That's
He
true.
brings people
No,
back.
don't give me that pressure. I'm not a comeback king, but I am. I'm supportive of the culture.
Right.
And I like to think of myself as not as a fair weather friend, but as a real person that's really committed to your career. So it doesn't matter to me. I think great people are always one hit away from having massive success.
Absolutely.
Right.
Even in this day and age?
Oh yeah, that's what I believe. Yeah, that's what I believe. Right. And even if it isn't massive success, do they deserve a home? Do these artists deserve a home? I look at it this way. The Rolling Stones doesn't have to look for a recording contract, or Bruce Springsteen doesn't have to look for a contract, and he's been in the business for how many years, right? So I don't want any black talent to wonder, well, like, why don't I have a home?
Yeah.
Why don't I have a home? Barbra Streisand still has a home. Does she still sell like Mariah? Does she still sell like that? I'm not sure if she does or doesn't. It's not my business. But the point is, she has a home.
Right.
She's taken care of. So it's my job to take care of talent.
That's interesting. Why isn't hip hop allowed to get old? Like, why we can't have the Rolling Stone type of artists?
Yeah, like all the artists you name are not. Most of the older artists are not signed.
Right, and that's a problem to me. So as much as I can, I'd like to help that. I mean that I think is the responsibility that I put on myself is to the extent that I can, help take care of the culture. You know, I had Ronald Isley signed from the Isley Brothers. He made his first record in 1959. I had him signed even while he was incarcerated, right? I kept him signed and took care of his family. And I'm not saying that because I won an award or a trophy.
Right.
The point is, he's Ronald Isley. He's the Isley Brothers, right? Jimi Hendrix was his guitar player. Elton John was his piano player. He's royalty.
Yeah.
So I want to take care of that.
It's up to you to keep the legacy alive.
Who else is going to do it?
Now, while you were writing this book, did you look back at some of the things that you made early on in your career and business decisions? Like, I was reading about you working with Jermaine Jackson, and then you went and started working with Michael Jackson, but you didn't want to let Jermaine know about that. Now, when you look back, who's going to turn down Michael Jackson?
Exactly.
But
I would have
did
made
you
that
feel
same.
like I should have
I'd make
told-
that same decision tomorrow.
But you could have told Jermaine ahead of time, and and
I
been
probably would have handled it exactly the same way.
wow.
You seem like a very straight shooter. Like you tell
try to
Jermaine, like
be.
Jermaine, you're just not it. Like you're
He
cool.
didn't tell
I
him
didn't say that.
He did not say
He
that.
can go gold,
I
but Michael
told you
can
a
go
troublemaker. I didn't say that.
You gotta understand, it's Michael Jackson.
But at that point, that was Michael's business and Jermaine's business, and they were separate.
Right.
They weren't the Jackson 5.
Because you
So I
was
didn't have
dipping
to have a
out. Like,
group
I'll be
meeting.
back in
Right.
3 weeks. I got to go to L.A.
Yeah,
Now the TLC biopic. What did you feel about that?
I didn't watch it.
You didn't watch it at all.
You want to know why I didn't watch it, right?
Yes.
Because I have children, and my ex-wife was portrayed in the movie, and I didn't watch it, but I knew that my children were not happy about it. So if I got to make a choice, I'm going to side with my family.
Word.
Right.
I always wonder why your name never comes up when they talk about, artists were getting robbed or they weren't getting what they were supposed to receive. Like, it's always, the blame always goes to Pebbles, but it never goes to you.
She was their manager, though.
Yeah, but in fairness to her, she doesn't collect the money from record sales. Record companies do that, right? And at that point, we were in a joint venture with Arista and BMG. So if Pebbles is accused of not paying TLC, then that means that I didn't pay her, which means that they didn't pay me.
Mm.
So if we're smarter about it, we're going to look to the source and say, wait a minute. So where if there was a shorting going on, where would that have taken place, right? And I can tell you on the record that Pebbles never robbed anybody and never ripped anybody off. And
So it was coming from,
Waiting to get paid from
parent
Arista.
company.
listen,
distribution
y'all
company.
smart people.
let's
Right.
blame it on the white man, L.A. Reid. Let's do it.
Y'all smart people, right? You're smart.
But you
Leave
even
it at
said
that.
that the situation with TLC is really what kind of broke up your marriage with Pebbles.
Yeah, it was difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It was like you were on the artist side and you couldn't really. That is difficult, though, working with your wife and then there's some discrepancies and then you have to.
Yeah, they said there was a relationship with you and one of the members. at one
Chili?
time.
You in Chile.
I didn't even know her like that.
Mm.
No. If I was gonna have one, it wouldn't have been her. But I didn't. Have her.
She was the finest one, though. Come on. She was the finest one, L.A. now.
You said
Okay.
you were close
Chile was
with.
bad. Them little
Different
baby
strokes
heads.
for different folks.
LA seems like he like him spicy. Probably would have been left out.
I think all
with
three of them
LA.
actually had a great look and they were very different. It just depends on
No,
your
I agree
preference.
with that. Yeah.
You know, because some people thought T-Boz was the cutest, some people thought Left Eye was the flyest, and
Right.
some people thought Chili. It just really is your preference.
What's more important, talent or the look? Because I read stories and I know you love the talent, but you also say Rihanna had a great look as well.
Yeah, the combination. I always say it's the entertainment business, right? So it's the combination that we love.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You can't really separate them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's the person that has it all. That's what we're looking for.
All right.
You know what I mean? The triple threat, right?
I know you talk about Pink in the book and her kind of and Avril Lavigne, them
Yeah.
establishing like their own looks and coming in. You can look at somebody like Jermaine Dupri was up here the other day and he was saying he
He
can
took
make.
all the credit for Usher, too, by the way.
No,
Jermaine did.
Yeah, he said.
No, he did. Stop
Why are you
lying.
lying?
That's cool.
Yeah, he did.
But
If he
was
said
saying-
it, he did it.
Mess with you.
He was saying he can look at somebody and even if he can make anyone into a star if they have a certain type of, I
He
guess
kind of did
style.
that, right?
With Criss
I felt
Cross.
like he did that with Criss Cross.
Mhm.
So he can. I can't do that.
Now, when Pink said you could be a pop star, but L.A. said all you have to do is change everything you are, how'd that make you feel?
That was just fun. She was just joking me, because I took her to a restaurant once and there was too much
Silverware.
china and silver and flatware on the table. And she was like, "What is all this for?" I said, "You should take an etiquette class so you understand what that is." oh, now you want to change me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Did you talk to Babyface before you wrote this book about what you were going to say about him, and it being that you guys were partners and then had a falling out somewhat, but still kept in contact?
He was very much a part of it,
Mm-hmm.
the writing. You know, he was very helpful to me. You know, that's really my brother.
Right.
Yeah, and we have very honest conversations about things. And even things I'd forgotten, some of the stories that I wrote about were stories that he reminded me of. And so I wrote about them. Yeah.
Did you ever think about doing it together, like a joint thing?
Yeah, we still may.
La Face.
Yeah.
And what was y'all
Still may.
falling out for?
We didn't fall out.
Oh, you didn't fall out?
No, we had girl problems.
Oh, girl in between y'all?
Not like that.
Oh.
No.
But it seemed like you weren't really
We
sure
had
why
women in our
y'all couldn't
lives.
jive. Oh, really?
Define girl. What do you mean?
Yes,
Girl, define
we're
girl
women in our
problems.
lives.
Like,
you know.
like y'all was messing with the same girl, or
No, we didn't do that. We never did that. You know, the good news is that we never even liked the same girl.
got you?
I'm really happy about that. But we were influenced by the women that were in our lives at that time. Both of us were.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You said he had to
Yeah.
call you from the car. He couldn't even call you from the house.
I felt like the side piece on that one.
Oh, you always a side piece.
They're not gonna let that
He
go.
did
They're
say
not gonna let
that.
4
that
o'clock
go.
this afternoon, he gonna be like, I was the damn side piece.
Twice.
I see a trend.
Now, when you left Arista and you went over to Def Jam, and you know Def Jam being a big rap label at the
Yeah.
time, and you know, was there any fear for you because you always say that I can't pick rap. That's not what I do. Was there any fear for you going to Def Jam, a rap label?
No, I can pick talent,
Mhm.
right? I never say I can't pick rap. I mean, the truth is, you know, from Outkast to CeeLo and the Goody Mob to Young Jeezy to Rick Ross to
Yes, sir.
to Future to, I mean,
Yo, got it.
you know, I don't think there's a question there. You know, it was a different culture.
Even T.I. early on.
Yeah, I was signed to LaFace,
Mhm.
right? So I love what I love again, you know, but no, there wasn't any fear, but it was a different culture. And what I really struggled with was being from a different walk of Black life.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And coming into Def Jam, which I felt was the people's label.
Mhm.
You know, it was you guys' label. It was DJs. It was everybody in hip hop. It didn't belong to a particular person. It belonged to the culture.
Right.
And I knew I didn't represent what that culture represented. Right. Yes, I'm Black. Yes, I'm proud. And I think that we can all agree that I'm at least successful enough that it was a logical choice.
Right.
But the difficulty was it wasn't thought of as it wasn't like LaFace or Motown or labels like that. It was a rebellious culture, and I didn't come from that. So the only thing that concerned me was if people would believe in the company from that point forward.
And that's why you brought in Jay-Z.
And we fixed that.
Now with that company, how did you deal with all the problems? Because at the time, Jay-Z was president, but LL Cool J didn't like Jay, Jewels didn't like Jay. It was like...
But I didn't know those things.
You didn't hear. You just
No,
jumped
I
into
really
it.
didn't know. I didn't know what the relationships were between, and no one told me, you know. So I really didn't get into it, you know. So those weren't. I didn't think of those as my problems, and so I didn't take them on.
Do you personally still like the music you put out? Like, are you riding the Dirty Sprite too?
Yeah, I love the music I put out. Yeah. I love Future, man.
Yeah.
You just dope.
I really, really love Future. I loved Future early on when people were saying, why? But there was just something soulful. That's a soulful dude, right? And I like that.
Does it feel strange because like you had the original Dungeon family and Future's kind of like a member, extended member of the Dungeon family?
That actually feels great.
Yeah.
I like that. You know what I mean? And he's still very close to them. Like he's still very close to Andre. You know, and Andre was one of the people that said, you know what, you got this one right. Like pay close attention to this guy. You know what? I listen to the artists often. Artists tell me what's happening. They always know. Like they always know. I mean, it's not like they can always do my job, but they can always tell me like, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. I listen to the talent.
Do you ever want to tell Future pump the brakes? Because he puts out so much free material.
As he looks to his label people over there, I guess that's a yes. That's money we're not making.
He
But
puts
to
out
put that out,
so
Future.
much free music. You ever be like, yo, what are you doing?
You know what? Yeah, I've had those conversations. I have those concerns. Mostly it's not because it's free or not free. What I really think about is like every artist has a window that they make their great music, right? And the more music you put out, the closer you're getting to the end of that run. That's the thing that concerns me is like, don't burn out. Don't put out so much music that you burn yourself out early. That's more my concern.
But I think a lot of the artists feel like if I don't put out music, I'm going to burn out. It's kind of like the whole out of sight, out of mind thing. Everybody got ADD nowadays.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? But that is still my concern. I mean, way back in the day, James Brown put out a record every week almost, and his run was like forever long. But you just never know, and my job is to really catch the sweet spot of an artist. That's what I really look for, is it's okay. I can ride with you beyond your peak, but I'm still looking to capture that peak, and that's my biggest concern is that Future doesn't put out so much music that either we miss the peak or that we just burn out.
Do you still think artists have those 15, 20-year runs in them? Like the way Jay's still around, any of those guys?
Yeah, all great artists have that. All great artists. But you just never know which one is the one-hit wonder. You never really know. We think we know, but you never really know.
I was going to ask you, so how do you decide how much you put into an artist? I remember when Future first came out, he put out his record, and it was a hit in the streets, but radio wasn't accepting to it. It wasn't doing good on radio. How do you know what, I'm going to keep putting money into this artist or Rocco or Yo Gotti or Bobby Shmurda? How do you know when you say
I just have to go with my gut. I can't really, I don't operate based on analytical data. I do this completely from my gut. And I'm wrong many times, and I'm okay being wrong many times, but I'm right enough that I can keep a job, but it's based on my gut.
Did you watch the Toni Braxton biopic?
Nope.
She said she had to sue the face too to get her money.
I didn't watch it.
You're going to have to make your own biopic soon, L.A. Reid, because you and everybody else's biopic. You're going to have to make one.
Cool. Not really.
You don't think so?
No.
At least based off the book or something?
No.
Man, this book was great. It was.
Thank you.
I mean, first of all, what I loved about it was there's a lot of backstories on, albums that got made, like even the Outkast double album. I didn't know how that went down, and you described that in the book.
Yeah.
You had
that was a special album.
And that I know you were relieved when that all happened. But it was great for that reason, and then it was just some little anecdotes in there about people that made them seem more human, like artists that you interacted with. You talked about Michael Jackson kind of laughing at Prince.
Oh my God.
And making fun of Prince. I thought that was crazy because I would never think something like that. He put on Under the Cherry Moon.
Right.
Which I personally like that soundtrack, but
You like the soundtrack?
I did
you like the
not
movie?
the movie, but I did like the songs.
He was basically joking about the movie.
And the James Brown performance.
Yeah.
And then he had a.
I mean, at that time, Prince and Michael Jackson were like the two greatest artists alive.
Absolutely.
And I didn't know there was any like rivalry there, but so that was fascinating.
Right, it was.
And I really didn't think that Michael Jackson would even think about something like that.
He's petty.
Yeah. It wasn't petty. He was just having fun. He really said it. Hey, you want to have some fun?
And I didn't know you had Pebbles and Paula Abdul about to throw down.
See, there you go again.
What? It's in the book.
I didn't read it.
He said he didn't read it.
He didn't read it.
I don't watch the biopics, and I didn't read the book.
You don't even peek at the biopics to see who's playing you.
No.
You know Cockroach played you in the TLC biopic?
I don't even know who that is.
Cockroach
man.
from Cosby Show.
I don't know who that is, man. I don't know who that is.
You don't watch the Cosby Show?
I don't know who that is. No.
Now, is it true?
I know Lisa Bonet. She was on that
Yes,
show.
sir.
I know who that is.
He knows all the women. He knows all the time. Now, is it true you gave Jeezy $1 million signing and he didn't cash it?
Yeah, that is true.
For a year.
For a
he
year.
didn't
He didn't cash
check.
that $1 million check for a year?
Shit, must be nice.
So who reminded you of that? The IRS? Like, this $1 million check ain't been cashed. Like,
I see, Benny, I'm done. That's it, right there. See, I told you, he's a troublemaker.
$1 million check.
That's all right?
Yes.
He held that for a year.
I would have went right to the bank,
Quite
but
some
just to
time.
make sure it clears.
Yeah, just to make sure it cleared.
Quite some time. Yeah.
Who was your
dig him.
favorite
Did that
artist to work
situation
with?
scare you at all?
What?
I mean, because Jeezy's one of my favorite rappers of all time.
Mine
but I mean,
too.
everything that
Mine
was
too.
surrounded with him,
BMF
the
at the
BMF and
time.
everything.
Street culture,
No,
street
man,
life?
I'm in the music business. You know what I
Right.
mean? And and I'm in the entertainment business, and I love artists, and that's my life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, afraid of what?
I mean, you sign him, you invest in him, and then he goes to jail.
He didn't.
He didn't. That's true. Yeah.
It's a gamble.
That's a fact.
It happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Did you ever get threatened by any artists? You ever have any problems?
No.
Nothing like that.
No. I have great respect for the artist, and I believe that they have great respect for me, and we need each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
You caught flack for the Bobby Smurda situation, but I heard you on the Rap Radar podcast. I thought you gave a great explanation as to why you wouldn't bail him out.
What did I say?
You basically said it's a new day and age. It's a new era. It's not like back in the day where, Snoop would catch a case. You knew Snoop was going to make a lot more money.
Right.
You
Yeah, but it also, I don't pretend to be I don't own Sony. I'd like to own Sony, but I don't own Sony, so I can't make every corporate decision on Sony's behalf. This is a multinational, publicly held company, right? And they have to be responsible for decisions like that. And that's not my decision. And if you want, am I spending my money? No. No.
You got to respect the honesty, though.
I'm spending it on my children, right?
Absolutely.
That's my responsibility.
You think artists make the mistake sometimes of thinking that the executives are their friends? Because I remember reading an article you did in, I think it was Black Enterprise some years ago, and you said, remember, this is the music business.
Yeah.
It's a business.
Yeah, I think sometimes, by the way, that goes both ways. I sometimes, I'm under the illusion that they're my friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm often reminded that it's business.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I would say I've gotten my heart broken more times than the artists have with that rude awakening that it's business. Yeah.
Who would you say that you were for real friends with? Like, what artists that you work with would you say that's really my friend that I can call? And
several of them. Big Boy. Big Boy from Outkast, a real friend, or Babyface is a real friend.
Mm-hmm.
Mariah Carey is a real friend.
What about Usher?
Usher is a real friend. Yeah.
Did you ever talk to Usher when he was going through the thing with his wife and he was having a hard time? Did you help him out through that situation?
Yeah, I talked to him whenever he needed to talk. I just talked to him. I just spoke to him yesterday. I'm gonna see him later today. Yeah, I talked to him.
And who was your biggest miss? The artist that you wish you signed that you let walk out your office?
Let walk out? I don't know. I signed Lady Gaga and then dropped her. That was a big miss.
That was a big miss, yeah.
Yeah, that was a massive miss.
T.I. kinda. He was on LaFace and then he wasn't for his second album.
No, T.I. left LaFace when I left Arista.
Oh, okay.
I got fired from Arista, and T.I. was like, okay, this is my out. But no, that wasn't a miss, in my opinion, And I still dig T.I., and I was happy for his success. And I really respected that he was savvy enough to figure out how to get out of the contract and go to Atlantic at that time. I was like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
That was probably the best firing that could have ever happened to you, though, at Arista at that time.
Yeah, not that day.
But you had another job, right? As soon as you walked out.
I'm
And then you
always
had
have a
Big
job,
Boy
but-
and Andre 3000 thanking you on stage.
Yeah, it was good.
And
It was that. I mean, it
that's
was a lot of great things that came of it. Again, but not that day, not that moment. You really want somebody to say, listen.
But they offered you something else. You could have.
Yeah, but I was too. I was like punch drunk.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even hear that they were offering me something that was actually great. I couldn't even hear it.
Mm-hmm.
All I heard was, we want to make a change, and all of a sudden I saw stars. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you don't want that.
No, yeah, it's never fun
Mm-mm.
at that time. But everything happens for a
You
reason.
still got that high school diploma you paid $40 for?
Yeah, absolutely framed.
Now, where'd you get a high school diploma for $40?
Across the street.
What was the point of having it, though?
For my mother.
Oh, okay, got you.
Here.
Got you. Yeah.
So you didn't have to go to summer school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you lied to your mom.
Done. You lied to your mom.
It was for a good cause, I guess, though.
Hey. Right?
So, L.A. Reid, where do we go from here now? Where do you see the future of music? Because things are so different from when you first started out until where we are now. It seems everything is so much more digital, so much
It's not different.
social media
It's so not
involved,
different. Let me
as
tell
far
you
as
something.
selling records.
None of this stuff is different.
It's different.
No, it's not. What's different is how music is distributed. But the fact of music, whether you like it or not, that didn't change.
That's
you
true.
hear a song, either you like it or you're not. You don't like it because it's on Spotify.
That's true.
You don't like it because you learned about it on Twitter or somebody or with somebody used a Vine. That's not why you like music, right? That's distribution. And that's always changed. It used to be an 8-track. It used to be a 78. It used to be, 45s. It used to be a cassette. They've tried everything, but that distribution will always evolve. But the music itself is all about whether the music is great or not. And I'm not a distributor, I'm a producer. So I care about the quality of the music. So to me, nothing's changed.
You don't think the quality went down? It seems like with technology, it seems like
Because anybody
back in
can
the
do it
day-
now.
Yeah, it seems like back in the day, if you had to know your artist was good because you had to pay for studio time and you was going to invest in artists. But now, like you said, you got a Mac, you can make an album.
Yeah, it doesn't make it great though. You know what I mean? You can't fool me. Let me just put it that way. I don't care where you made it. I don't care if you made it in a studio or in the phone booth. If it's good, I'll know it. If it's not good, then I'm not paying any attention.
Who's the last person that blew you away in an audition?
Blew me away. Let me see. That's a tough one, man. I can't really remember right now who blew me away. It's been a minute.
That Megan Trainor's pretty good.
Yeah, Megan was pretty good.
Yeah.
That's been a couple of years now.
All right.
But Megan's really good. Yeah, but I see them all the time. But blown away, like I'm looking for that. I hope that happens today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like that legendary artist.
I want every day. That's what I'm looking for.
I've heard in
Every
auditions
day.
some artists would be like, man, he wasn't even paying attention to me. He was on his phone. He was on his laptop. He got up, left the room, came
Damn.
back. It didn't even seem like he was interested.
That's a bad sign when he gets up and leaves the room.
Is that a bad sign?
It's all by design.
Poker face.
It's all by design. You know what I mean? But I'm looking to be blown away.
Mm-hmm.
I want chill bumps. You know what I mean? And you can't get them often. I mean, great artists are not. That's not an everyday thing. You know what I mean? I mean, how many great artists pass through here? Greats like Jay-Z caliber greats. How many of those passed through here in the last couple of years? A couple.
But we don't know, though.
Not 25.
No.
Well, you don't know until 10 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe, but
Yeah.
are they great in the moment though? Are they great right then in that moment?
You see certain things. Like I can remember when Kendrick first came in.
You
Drake.
knew. You guys knew.
You knew it was something special.
With Drake.
Even he looked like a janitor, but it was something special there.
Drake too.
So the
Future's
greats
up.
of right now. I mean, I don't want to turn the interview around, but I just want to know from you guys. The greats right now. Is that Kendrick Lamar?
Kendrick is great.
Drake,
Drake.
J. Cole.
That's J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Those are the three. That's the Biggie, Jay-Z, and Nas of
Okay.
this era.
And how many years did it take for that to take place? Because before that, it was Biggie and it was Jay and right. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're talking about like 6 people out of hundreds.
Yeah.
Out of hundreds of people that have
That's right.
walked through this room.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how often great stars are born. So you can't get them every day. Is my point.
I mean, I think Tink is special. She signed the
Yeah,
the
Tink is
Epic,
very special.
but you won't know until a few years from now.
Exactly.
And even you didn't like Future at first. You said
No, I always liked Future. I didn't think he could rap. I didn't think he had lyrics in the traditional
So
sense
what is he
of.
doing? What is it though?
He
What
makes
is it
great
that you
songs.
like?
He makes great records. Like great records. You in the club, it's great songs. But I just don't understand what the hell he's saying sometimes.
Right. I think I might have said that. You need a lyric sheet.
Yeah. Go to Rap Genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a feeling.
It's a feeling, yeah.
That's soul music the Future's doing. That's soul music. It's a different version of it, but that's a different form of it. That's soul music. That's not traditional rap, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying.
Absolutely.
But then that would be judging him by a different bar. You got to base artists on who they are.
And even me, I'm from the South, but I grew up on rappers like Outkast, Goody Mob, UGK, 8 Ball, and MJG. They were very audible.
What are you, Texas?
South Carolina.
South Carolina?
Yes, sir.
How do you get out of South Carolina?
Wendy Williams.
God.
Wendy Williams scooped
God.
him out.
God.
Right?
That's it. God. I
Thank
don't
you.
know.
Amen.
So who are your top 5 R&B musicians? We always ask about the top list. Who are your top 5 R&B musicians?
Oh,
Why I gotta be R&B? Why
I'm
you
gonna
put him
ask
in
him
a
about
box?
rap because he says he does R&B. I'm gonna ask him rapper in a
I'm
second.
music, man.
All right,
Just
so top
any
5
genre.
music, just musicians. It doesn't matter what they
What?
sing or what they rap or what they do.
Top 5.
Top 5.
You know, I'm much older than you guys, so you know my list might. You be like, who? Who's that?
Shalimar.
You know, Sly.
Mhm.
You know Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yep, my poppy played. My daddy played him.
Yeah, that's up there. That's
Mhm.
way up there. You know, but I'm a traditionalist. It's Prince, man. Prince is number one. Period.
Prince over Michael Jackson.
As
That's
a
debate.
musician,
Yeah.
Okay.
I love
and it's a debate.
Mhm.
And tomorrow I'm going to say it's Michael,
Okay.
right? and I go back and forth on that one. It's very difficult, but it's Prince and it's Michael. Kanye West is up there for me.
Really?
In top 5 of all time.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
dig him
Kanye
like
don't
that.
realize how important he is to music.
Yeah, Kanye is incredible. Like to me, that is one of the greats. You know, and I do believe 20 years from now that I don't know, but I think 20 years from now we will still think of him that way. You know, Jay-Z is up there.
Of course.
You know, way up there on that list. Whitney Houston
Mm-hmm.
might be the greatest ever.
Yeah, I
Hmm.
love Whitney.
Yeah. So my list is a combination.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why did you say X Factor was the hardest thing for you to do in your life?
Because it was a different judging experience. You know what I mean? I didn't see the kind of talent that I was used to seeing.
Mm.
I didn't see those people. I didn't see the Kanye West caliber talent.
So it was too amateurish, basically.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But I don't like saying that because I was a guest. I was Simon Cowell's guest. It was his show,
Mhm.
right? So it's like I was a guest in his house. So I don't like that I've said that. You know what I mean?
It's honest though.
But that's how I felt. It was just a different caliber.
Do you think those type of shows can breed the caliber you're looking for? They can breed those megastars?
I don't think so. But you know, Kelly Rowland has a show called Chasing Destiny that's coming out, and I just watched a couple of clips from it, and it felt like she might have a better shot because you know she's attracting a different kind of talent for her show. We'll see, you know, but you never know what talent's going to come from. You just never really know.
Yeah.
You know.
You can get the book right now. It's called Sing to Me, and we appreciate you joining us
Word.
today.
Oh my God, we survived.
We
Yeah,
survived.
now you can breathe.
You can breathe.
You want a drink now?
Yeah. Now, let's open up all of that. Thank you, guys. This is great. Thank
Well, you know, we
Like,
love
I
Chelsea.
feel like I
Yeah,
was
they
on
were
X
very
Factor.
nervous.
Hey,
But
judge.
but you know, I watch a lot of the people that you've had in here, man, and it's been some entertaining moments.
Yeah.
Listen, we just try to be
I
like you on
particularly like
auditions.
Damon Dash when he was
David
here.
Dash was
Oh,
fun.
gosh.
Yeah, that was fun. That was great.
That was fun.
You ever been screamed at by Damon Dash?
No,
Oh.
I
I ask everybody that question.
They said no.
no. I respect Dame a lot. I really respect him.
Yeah,
I think he's brilliant.
I do too. Just a little misguided when it comes to people who aren't in the position he's in.
Right,
Because
I
some
agree.
of us still have to work, and
Yeah,
it's
that's
nothing.
right.
And if you're a boss, you still have to have employees.
right.
So you can't insult people and say calling somebody boss. It's like calling another man daddy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Would you hire Dame Dash? I mean, you did a deal with Puff. You did a deal with Ross.
I did a
Would you-
deal with Dame before too. A couple times.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm gonna give everybody a shot.
I see you give everybody a chance. I'm not mad at you.
Give everybody.
I feel like you need to invest in like old school hip hop radio stations. I think that's what's missing. No, I'm serious. I think
Why?
because I feel like it's like 30 years of music, hip hop and R&B that's just gone.
That's gone.
It's not playing on the radio. Like
Are they playing on the satellite station?
A little
Satellite
bit,
station.
Satellite
Yeah,
has a
and you know
station.
what?
They have
They
one
have a lot
station.
as far as like
Backspin.
all the streaming stations that you can definitely get that on
Yeah.
there. Like
Right.
as far as Pandora, Spotify.
Like they even took away the
iHeart.
throwback mixes on terrestrial radio. Like I feel like it needs to be like a BLS for just strictly hip hop and R&B.
That's not on the air.
They have in
Yeah,
certain
they have
spots.
Radio One's
Yeah.
invested in a few.
I think they have one in Atlanta right now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they have one in Atlanta
Steve Egg
now.
would invested in one.
Mhm.
Should be one in.
I just
yeah.
think you'd be the guy that could really like make it.
Yeah. It's
Impactful.
Interesting though. It's really interesting. But that's see what you're saying is a little bit of like what I'm saying about the talent, right? We can't discard talent.
Right.
Yeah,
You know, we can't do that. Nobody else is doing it.
yeah.
You know what? Nobody's just. David Bowie had a record deal to the day he died.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Take all the classic rock
You know,
stations.
but Jeffrey Osborne doesn't. I mean, just by example, right? So so a different, longer conversation, but there's higher purpose, and yeah, I want to still make some hits. I want to still make stars. I want to still make some money. But
Right.
my real cultural responsibility is to just keep people working.
All
That's
right.
great. One of our favorites, Now Rogers, is still out there thriving and getting it.
Yeah, he's getting it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's something too, man. He's one of I didn't realize he was as great as he is.
He's great.
Anyway, thank you guys.
That's
L.A.
right.
Reid.
L.A. Reid, it's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in